else, if you want to speak up, you just go ahead and either raise your hand with that little reactions button there, or unmute yourself, and I would be really happy to hear from you. So let me just say welcome officially now that we are live. Welcome. And Sophia's already, you already got your hand up, Sophia. You already want to say something, or would you like to wait until we open? Is there something you want to say really quick? You have your hand up, Sophia. Maybe that was by mistake. Okay. So Anne, hello, and Eddie's here, and Patty, and Maggie, and Sabina, and Patricia. Susan, great to see you. Jules here. Carol's here. Hey, Carol, good to see you. Catherine, hi, Catherine. There you are, Susan. Here you are. We spoke, I think, yesterday, right? Fantastic to see you. Wonderful. There's Scott. Hey, Scott. Wow. What a nice background there. Are those kangaroos on the ground, or what are they? Oh, you'll have to tell me when it's time for you to talk. It's hard for me to see from that picture. Okay, Craig is here, and Joseph, and Patricia, and Karen, and Janice. And here's the meeting host that confused me last time. If you want to change it to your name, that will be fantastic. You just click on those three little dots, and it says rename right after in the drop down settings there, rename, and you can rename yourself. I'll know who you are. Kyra's here, and Sibu, welcome. Millicent and Rima, great to have you. And Deborah and Dalal, welcome, Dalal. John and Allison and many more are coming online as we say hello. Gwyneth just joined. Great to have all of you here. It is today, January 18th. Special date today, January 18th. A lot is going on. For all of us, I don't know who had a chance to look up in the sky yesterday. There was this amazing full moon in the sky, and full moons kind of last for a couple of evenings. Yes, I'm getting some yeses here, so that's great. And so you will have another chance to look up and see it today. And full moons usually bring energy that can be felt. And I know we've had one of these discussions, and a lot of you shared how you have observed the effects of a full moon on your life. This particular full moon comes in the sign of Cancer, and this, Cancer is all about emotions and even like self-care, and just kind of giving yourself that attention that you need to figure things out. And maybe that's why everyone was quiet, Anne, because everybody's kind of like in this mode of trying to figure things out inward, which is great. That's why we're on these conversations. So that's what I was saying. Maybe I'll give y'all a couple ideas. And I want to, have our conversation today around different ways of self-care. Okay. And I'll explain what I mean about that. And we'll look at it at different areas in our life. So the first thing, when we get down to working on our business, the space that we work on our business matters. Okay. And it really matters what kind of space you set out for yourself. So if there's a lot of clutter, if there's a lot of things, if you have, if you're on top of whatever and trying to work, then usually that's not going to be a very inviting space for you. If you're sharing space with someone else, or if you, I don't know, what else could be some good examples except for like clutter, and that, if it's not with easy access, you have to drive to get there, or you have to, go out of your way in order to find your working space. These steps that we have to take in order to get to what we want to do, which is our business, won't work in our favor, because then we have those excuses that like to come up. Well, let me just organize this. Like, if you're working, let's say on the kitchen table, let's just get the kitchen organized, and then I'll sit down to do my stuff. Oh, well, you know what? If I'm working in that other space, well, let me just talk to that guy or that person about what's going on, and then I'll get to my business. Or if we have to drive, well, it's so cold outside right now that I just don't want to leave my house. I'll just do it tomorrow. So you see how we can really load ourselves up with excuses and reasons not to get to work. So that idea of organizing a space that is inviting and encourages your own self-care and benefit is important. So I'll go an extra step and say, make it inviting in a way that maybe there's something that has a good fragrance, maybe flowers or a plant or some, they have those dehumidifiers now, that not dehumidifiers, what are they called? The word escaped, and I have like 5 of those in the house. you know, where you put like essential oil.
Diffuser?
Diffusers.
Diffusers.
Thank you.
Diffuser. Yeah.
I have only 5 everywhere in the house, you know, diffusers. And then, or maybe, you know, you can burn some incense or whatever you're into. Okay. It doesn't have to be that kind of thing, just so that there is a good fragrance. They have those plugins. If you like those things, you can do plugins, whatever. It smells good. It looks good. You have some flowers. Maybe you put your favorite picture, if not a flower or a plant, your favorite picture, some pictures that encourage you, you know, even if you think about it, a desk work space at work, a lot of times you'll walk into like a bank or some place and you'll see that they have organized their desk. First of all, you won't walk in and it'll be cluttered, because that's just not inviting. And you'll see that they have their little motivation things that are scattered around their desk that help them feel better and help them get through their day with you know, a smile on their face. And some of you have mentioned, okay, you know, we're not feeling especially motivated. So these steps of self-care are very important. So I gave you some examples about your workspace and getting to, you know, the business pretty quickly on. But now let's talk about also internally, because we said this full moon is all about, you know, yes, creating your own sanctuary, like we just spoke about, but also going deep into that emotional level. And so what are some things that we can do for ourselves to make ourselves feel better? This is very important in the times that are today, that we're all hearing about all the things that we need to get and to buy and to consume and to do. What about the things that are good for ourselves? So actually, as part of our daily mode of operation, we give you a couple of things to do right in the morning, starting by adding, you know, rising with an attitude of gratitude. So listing the things that you're grateful for. Second is that visualization, you know, it's really meditation, manifestation, prayer, you know, just sitting quietly with yourself for a couple of moments. You deserve that time. Oftentimes I'll hear, yeah, I just don't have any time for it. You know, my day rushes forward. There are many places that you can do this, starting from in your bed before you wake up, to in the shower, to seated quietly somewhere, to, you know, not on your way to work, but, you know, when you arrive and you're seated in your car before you get out and you find that space, you know, after you've dispersed all the children to where they need to go and you have that quiet time, or, you know, when you arrive to one of those destinations and you have quiet time, right before you start engaging with a different activity. You deserve that time. You really deserve. It can be 3 minutes. Doesn't have to be 10. It doesn't have to be 20. Start with 3, start with 5, you know, whatever you can. And you can put a little, maybe a song that will tell you how much time is going by. So if you put a 3-minute song, you know, when the song is over, you're done. And so you find that space that is easy for you to do. Again, we're working on that idea of, you know, make it easier, make it more accessible. So it's not complex. Well, do I have to sit cross-legged? I can't sit cross-legged. Do I have to be, you know, with my fingers in what position? What finger is touching the other? You know what I mean? Like, don't make it overcomplicated. Make it simple, keep it simple, and integrate it every day into your life. The other thing that we talk about as part of our daily mode of operation is, you know, moving your body. That's a fabulous self-care aspect. If it's a walk with your dogs, if it's a walk on your own, if it's a walk with family members or friends, if it's a walk to get something, right? You know, I mean, oftentimes it's the mail that we all walk to, but, you know, it could be something farther than that. Maybe there's a small town center that you could go and pick things up. Maybe it's just, instead of, you know, you go from one errand to the other without having to drive. It could be simple things. Maybe you take it the next level and hop into a class, a yoga class, a cycling class, a movement class, whatever it is, that you really have the guidance of someone, hopefully, that's looking looking at what you're doing and helping you improve as you move, right? I had, you know, a brave woman step into my class this morning, never done any type of movement like this before. And it was just like, you know, even listening to the names, but she did it and she finished and she said, I'm going to be here tomorrow, you know, next time, not tomorrow, but next time. And it's that sense of you don't have to be perfect at it. You don't have to be the top of the class from the first time that you walk in. You don't. You just have to do it. And that's what I told her. I was like, you did great. She's like, I don't know. I was like, no, but you really did, because you completed the whole class. You didn't stop in the middle. You did all, you know, everything that I asked you to do. You were attentive. You were listening. I mean, what else do you need? So that is a great thing to do. Another step forward is to get into the gym, to go running, whatever it is that speaks to you. If you are athletic, then you already know what you love to do. You don't need to spell that out. But there are simple things that you can do that everyone can do, from just walking up the street. I have a neighbor. Amazing. He just does. We have this little slope hill right outside of the house, and he just runs up and down that little slope. It's nothing. It's 5 houses, maybe 1, 2, yeah, like 5 houses, not even, maybe 4 houses, because we have a big little space next to us. And he just runs that up and down, runs up and down. And he's been doing that for like 2 years, I think, already. And he just keeps at it. He doesn't do it every day, but he keeps at it. And it's right outside the house. He did it with his son to begin with. His son stopped doing it. But you see how these creative ideas are right in front of you. It doesn't have to be complex. You can, if you don't have weights, you can, you can take little cans and do things with them, right? There's so many things that we can use around the house that we can use just to move our body. And so, and that's in self-care. And then self-care, of course, not just in the physical aspect, but also in how we're speaking to ourselves and how we are encouraging ourselves along this path. And of course, all of these talks and the topics that we choose every day, they're all around that. But there has to be this measure of self-compassion. And that really relates to this specific time right now with this full moon. It is this self-compassion that allows us to really, be healthier and improve on our journey and where we're going to go, and with our business, because this self-criticism that we can get into, it will really derail ourselves, and just it won't motivate us. Okay, let's put it that way. It won't motivate us to move forward, and that can sometimes come at a serious cost. So it's times like these when we're reminded, not just by ourselves, but from these celestial bodies that are in the sky in front of us. And it's great, because it's just like a reminder. We already know that we need to care for ourselves first, because then we won't be able to care for anybody else. We already know that we deserve our time. Maybe sometimes we don't allow ourselves to take that time. Okay, there's a lot in our mind. There's a lot for ourselves that we need to allow ourselves. And maybe there is something ingrained in our DNA, in our mind, that we need to always be productive. Like we always need to complete tasks and all that. Like get it done. And I'm not saying that is a bad thing. That is a good thing. But it has to be with this sense of healing, of health, of really encouragement. As if you were talking to a young child. What would you say if you had a young child just now, take on a new business, and let's go young, like not even somebody that needs to understand what it's about, right? Just take on a lemonade stand, and you want to encourage them. What tone would you be speaking with? Would you let them stand outside in the cold for 12 hours to sell that lemonade? No, you wouldn't. You would say, okay, give it, an hour. Let's see what's happening. Maybe you help them advertise. Maybe you call some friends and tell them to come over. All these things that you would do for others. Why not? Or for this young child, why not do for yourself? And self-care is essential in this day and age, because they'll really help us. There's a lot of stress that's going on around us, and this is a real thing, and this is something that even people are prescribing medication for, people are taking medication for. So it's a real thing that we cannot go around and not acknowledge. And yes, it's related to a lot of things, and even food. We didn't talk about that. Food and water and what we're drinking, what we're eating, how we're drinking and eating, right? Is it in a healing and healthy way? Do we have compassions for our body with how we're making these choices? That's another great aspect that we could talk about. But really, it's about how we're dealing with these levels of stress, and how are we even creating extra stress for ourselves? Unnecessary. And so can we, especially today, especially now, take the time that we need in order to honor ourselves? Some people love to take warm baths. Some people can't even hear that word, right? But if that's a thing that you like, do that. If there's some music that soothes you, that you love, take time to do that. Listen to music. meet up with friends that you love, that help, that feed your soul. Not everybody is like that, but if you have that kind of relationship in your life, then definitely that is something to do. So yeah, I don't even have to list all the ways, because I actually want to let all of you share, and I want you to also see the correlation between how you are caring for yourself and the motivation to succeed in your business and to move forward with your business. And how, when you feel better inside, when you feel more energized, when you've given yourself that time to heal and to honor where you are right now. And there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on for everyone. Everyone is going through a lot. That's okay. Life is like that. That's how it is. And so how, because of all of that, not in spite of it, not, I wish it wasn't. No, because of all of that, how are you caring more for yourself and realizing that this is going to lead you to where you want to be? And that neglecting yourself and neglecting, your needs and what your body's telling you and what to be important, because we know where we feel good, and how, if we eat a certain thing, it doesn't sit well with us, or if we engage with a certain person in that conversation, we feel depleted afterwards, or we know if we don't sleep. This is a good one. A lot of people know that, right? What is the amount of hours that you need to sleep in a day to function well the next day, right? A lot of people recommend 8 hours, but for some people it might be 10, and it might be 6, it might be 4, it might be like, 4, no way. If I only have 4 hours of sleep, I'm not going to do anything tomorrow. So you all know that, right? What is the number? And can you set yourself up for success, already preparing yourself for that? And so I know Australia is going through a lot. I know, I hear it. And it's, I can only send out love. And, I don't like to get very political or anything on these calls, but I think everyone should have their voice, and everyone, you know what I mean? It's just love should be the answer all the time, all the time. Choose it time and time again for yourself and for others, and honor people where they are. And so I hear you, Scott, and my heart goes out to you. Let's open this up for a conversation. I definitely did not list all the things, but like I said, I want to hear from you and what you love to do, what you've observed in your life, and what heals you, what helps you along. I have Sophia's hand up, but like I said, maybe, did you want to ask a question? Did you want to share? You would have to unmute yourself, Sophia, which means you can either press on the space bar or you would unmute that little microphone. But if not, then I know that Eddie has his hand up here. So I'm just going to assume that hand is up by mistake, and I'm going to lower it. Eddie, Eddie, tell us about your self-care regime here. And how is that working for you?
Well, hello, everybody. And Miss Karen, thank you very much. I heard somebody say something about their birthday.
Yeah.
Who that was, somebody, but that's nice. So it's interesting because I never honor my birthday. I've never had when I worked with children, my 40th birthday, the children surprised me with a surprise party. I really suspected they wanted the ice cream and cake that comes with it, but they did do it, and I appreciated it. It was so sweet. And somebody did it, made me a cake when I was at McDonald's one time, and that was a sweet gesture. And it's strange to me that I never, when I was raised, we didn't do big things about birthdays. And I hear some people, they won't even work on their birthday. They won't even consider. I just come to work, I say. And I think of it because like this, gosh, every day is beautiful to me. God, every day is a birthday. I got up and I'm here. And it took me a long time to get like that. Self-care is where I'm at. I mean, I'm caring. You said you didn't know whether or not you said enough. No, you said plenty. Gosh, where do I start? Well, I'm telling you this. I openly tell people I've opened several businesses over the year, and neither one of them ever went to the level that I wanted them to. I don't regret doing it. I don't. I got friends who are going, oh my God, Ed is doing it again. No, that's just them. I was born with wonderful talent, a nice personality, Even on my job at Walmart, my boss pulled me aside to have a conversation with me. It was a strange conversation. Eddie, they're saying you're having too much fun on the job. No, I promise you. And look, I used to supervise you. I know how you are. You get the job done. I don't know how you manage to do it, but it's getting the other managers. They just don't get it. And I said, okay. And can I just what? I don't want to. And I know she's trying to be cool because we're short of help. I show up on work on time, ready to work, and I give them a full 8 hours. They don't have to hunt me. The thing it is, I have fun while I'm working. That's all it is to it. And I'm serious. People were freaking out. They thought it was going to snow in South Carolina. I say, listen, y'all, it hadn't snowed big in South Carolina in forever. Even if it is, it's not the end of the world. It's just snow. I remember the blizzard of 1973. It shut the state down for 3 whole days, and we were weeks without power. That's the worst thing that's ever happened. We've never been close to that. We had a flood. So I'm just telling y'all, but the people just pulling everything off the shelves. We ran out of meat. I promise you. And I'm trying to get things done. I'm doing all that. I'm helping other customers and giving everything. And I'm doing a great job, as I always try to do. So what I'm learning is this. My business coach told me this, and I know I'm running, gosh, Lord. My business says, Eddie, your business will go like you want it when you stop giving a rip about what people say about you. Don't give a rip. And I'm just saying rip. You can put your own in there, No, I'm serious. And I don't give a rip. Because I remember when I was miserable, trying to be what people wanted me to be. I made down there straight A's in school to make the teachers happy, to make my daddy happy. It wasn't making me happy. I was stressed out. I quit school. I didn't want to go to college. I didn't want to succeed because I couldn't stand the fact that I had to do something to make people happy, and I wasn't happy. Well, I'm happy now. I seriously am. I had a sign making business one time. I handmade business signs, and the people loved it. What I didn't do was charge the right price. That was my failure. I put the signs up, hand painted them, beautiful colors, and gave them a good marketing scheme and everything. And they said, gosh, it is gorgeous. And I didn't charge them properly. So the business failed. So I'm not mad about that. Every failure I've had taught me something about myself. Eddie, you don't love yourself enough. You don't appreciate the talent I've given you. When you start doing that, things will change. Nothing will change until you change. That's everybody. It's not the government. It's not the politics. I don't care what political system you're in. It's not your church. It's whether or not you got favor with God. None of that. God always favors you. However you take your religion, it favors you. You are the problem. And it's not a problem. It's just how you think it. Change your thoughts to what you want. That's a vibration and everything will change. When I got to that, I decided when I got in this low-hanging system thing, I was going to shoot my mouth off and not give a rip. Except respecting the host, because I am taking a whole bunch of time. I can't, because I know I can blab. They punished me in 1964 every day, sitting up in the principal's office all day long. School was out, and I was still sitting up there. I promise you. But I learned from that. Okay, Eddie, the world is your oyster, but you aren't the only oyster in the ocean. So be respectful, but love yourself. Love yourself, and you will vibrate, and things will come to you that you never even imagined. That's the thing you need to declutter. Declutter this. Get this right, and your environment will start changing. My room smells good now. I heard somebody talk about fragrance. I draw flowers just to look, beautiful trees, because I love them. There's big trees out there. I go out there and draw them because it brings beautiful energy to me. Whatever energizes you, do it. And do it with love, and don't give a rip about what people say when you're doing what you know you're passionate about. Thank you very much for this opportunity. It's yours again, Karen. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
I love it. I love it. And it's oftentimes that when you're shining your brightest, it can make people uncomfortable, like you were experiencing there in Walmart. But that doesn't mean that you need to dim your light. It doesn't. On the contrary, it can sometimes pull them out of that space where they are, but it might take them a little bit of time and they might not feel that comfortable while they're doing it. But it is definitely impressive and important to shine your brightest no matter what. And it's exactly like you said. You said, don't give a rip. I like that one. And I love how you took us through this journey of your self-realization. So you took us through the whole path of your history into today and how you're presenting yourself into this world. And, we love hearing you talk. It's very inspirational and motivational. So we definitely enjoy all of that. So thank you so much for always sharing. We love it, Eddie. Scott.
Good morning, Karen. Good morning, everyone. Interesting, you're talking about disorder and clutter at the beginning, which I think was very interesting. Do you recall there was a television series called Limitless, where this guy had this tablet, and it basically gave him super focus in his mind, and a bit like autism, but in a much more cognitively comprehensive way, and it enhanced all his abilities. What's very interesting is one thing I noticed, and this is something that you find when you increase your concentration or you focus on a goal, you create a what can only be called a cognitive dissonance between your sense of order in your mind and your clutter and your physical environment. The first thing he did, and I noticed this very interesting, the very first thing he did was tidy up his flat.
Yeah.
Everything was neat, ordered, and tidy. And you think, why would someone who's suddenly become a genius need to do that? Because he didn't want the external environment was a reflection of what was inside. Inside there was order, because he was focusing on what was important, and the unimportant faded away. In the same way, your environment, the unimportant, should fade away from your consciousness. So the clutter is unimportant. So you would want that out of the way. So it's very, very interesting you mentioned that, I thought. And also, I think that the inner sanctuary you're talking about, I think a very key component of that is inner peace. And I think that inner peace will eventually, if you have enough, if you work on that enough through meditation, through the recitation of mantras relating to peace and calm, you eventually find that you separate yourself from your thoughts, and you realize that you are not your thoughts, you are the observer. And when you get to that point, that is an inner sanctuary of incredible power, because then you can just be your true self and not this interplay of thoughts and feelings and emotions, which is not you, if you understand what I'm saying.
Agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think and also you mentioned exercise. That, in a way, for a lot of people, is a way of disconnecting from the world and going again into that inner stillness, that sanctuary, that where you have that peace. You'll find it in a marathon. You find it, particularly any exercise which is repetitive, which is not sort of explosive in short bursts, like weightlifting or something, but something like running or something that is repetitive, where you can mentally turn off, and you get that sanctuary effect. And a very interesting point came up the other day. I had to share it with you. You were talking about the way you talk to yourself, the way you interact with your thoughts and so forth. The comment came up, said, would you talk to your friends the way you talk to yourself? And chances are, if you did, you probably wouldn't have many friends. I thought that was very interesting. So I think the way you phrase things to yourself, the way you interact with yourself, very critical. Because every time you utter a thought or a feel, particularly when you articulate a thought, I think in a very real sense, you are laying the tracks of neural pathways that can either serve you or destroy you, ultimately. And the more you keep on running that track in, the stronger those neural pathways become. And it can shape your destiny, absolutely shape your destiny, as well as your mind and your personality and the way you actually perceive reality itself. So what you say to yourself really, really does count. And that's all part of self-care. It's a huge part of self-care, I think.
I agree.
That's my 10 cents.
And it's sometimes not even the words, Scott. It's the tone of your voice. It's the infliction, right? Like how harsh are you saying it, and how
Absolutely.
how kind are you being? So it's almost like when you're able to, like you said, you kind of separate yourselves from your thoughts, and you become the observer. You become this hollow being that is just allowing the energy to move through, and you are able to look at the thoughts circulating. Then you get to choose. You get to choose. And if those thoughts that are not serving you enter, you don't have to invite them in for tea. You don't have to sit down and have dinner with them. You don't have to listen to all the background noise, because you at that point don't need the background noise. You see, I think a lot of people, and I see it around the world, are used to just turning the television on and letting it run like background noise. So there's always something going on. Even the kids with the cell phones and the TikToks, and they're just kind of flipping through things, and it's just kind of ongoing distraction, clutter. Again, it's clutter. And so how can you separate yourself from that and actively choose what you'd like to invite and how you want to engage in and go about your day? Because it's just like you said, the first thing that when you have that ability, the clutter, the mess, the things that are not supposed to be there, are just weighing on you. You want to clear them all out and just get to the point without any distractions, without any background noise, without any words that mean nothing to you anymore, are not serving your purpose. They don't just need to, like you said, don't need to be on repeat just because we're used to the sound. We get to choose what frequency, how it's being said, what voice, what tone. It's not just something that is said and we're like, oh, well, that's how I am. A lot of people will do that, or a lot of their lives. They'll just say, well, that's how I am. I'm just like this. Well, okay. All right. If you're happy like that, then stay like that. That's fantastic. But if you'd like to create a little bit more for yourself, or evolve, why not evolve? Why not grow? Why not continue on this fabulous journey that is life, and just keep on refining and refining? And that we get that by making these choices. So thank you so much for speaking up, Scott. I always love to hear from you. Yeah.
Can I mention one other thing too? It just makes me wonder, people who are really mean or cruel to others, you can just think, how cruel and mean are they to themselves?
Yes.
They must be going through hell.
I know. I use that sometimes when I see that happening, I have to like quiet down and just say, wow, I have so much compassion for you, because you must be going through a lot. Sometimes They just need a hug, or they just need, something kind being said to them. And even though they're being so cruel, it really is that space that they're just so hard towards themselves. They don't know any different. So they lash that out and lash it out and lash it out. Yeah. Fantastic. Love these conversations. Maggie, you have to unmute yourself.
Hi guys. I'm so bad. And I don't always talk or show my picture, because for me, it's a little bit earlier and I'm just not always looking my best. But anyway, I'm one of those people that's always trying to get rid of the clutter. So I work at it, but in my mind, I have a hard time, because I didn't realize till I was like old that besides kind of having anxiety, I have a pretty bad case of ADHD. So it's super hard for me. And I feel like I've ruined so many things that I'm sorry, guys. I just end up in this crazy situation. So I don't want to move. I don't want to leave where I am. But everybody around here that like has roommates and things, they're young, they're kids. And I have a dog. So instead of moving from where, I really want to be, I have my van, it's a newer van. It runs well, but I'm working on trying to get it organized and finished. And it's just it is challenging. And I find that when that subject comes up, it's, I don't know what to do about it sometimes, because you try so hard, and it's frustrating. And anyway, I'm just like, pray for me, people, because I don't know what to do sometimes. But I am trying to make this work because a lot of my other types of job, oh man, I could go to school forever, but working is harder. Making money is harder. And so I'm just hoping this works because I make a lot of mistakes. And I think with the print on demand, it's a lot harder for me to make mistakes. So I'm not making as many things as I used to make and trying to figure out what to do with all that stuff, and I have like 2 storages and I'm just like, gosh, please let this get easier, So I want to be positive. I just want to figure out how to make things work a little better, So anyway, I lost my key to my car a couple days ago in the car, and I knew it was in here, but I was moving all this stuff around, which I'm always moving stuff around like a moving person. And, I found it, but it was too late for me not to have spent a bunch of money on new keys and things. So I'm just like, and then my dog was sick and she gave me a, how you can catch a stomach virus. She gave it to me. I was like, oh, this is wonderful. We don't have running water yet, anything. So anyway, I just am like, I want to be more positive, and that's why I just keep coming because you guys, you help me a lot, all of you guys. So that's it.
Thank you, Maggie. We love you. We love you. And we're first of all, thank you so much for sharing and for bearing your soul. I know that that's not easy. Definitely not speaking up in front of a group so large and speaking your truth and what you're going through. So I honor you for that, really, with an open heart. And I know you for a while now, so I feel like we are, we know what's going on. And I've seen you with this huge smile on your face, succeeding and doing things and putting things up there and getting the business done. And so I know that that's just around the corner for you. It's really close, but maybe right now where you are, harder for you to see, and my piece of advice is, instead of, oftentimes we get the anxiety or the fear because we're looking so far ahead that things just don't add up. And you said that you kind of like when things are a certain way. And so for a moment, if you can pause and just kind of focus on the nearer future and the today, what does Maggie need to do today in order to do the best that you can? I don't know how many products you're promoting and how you're doing it, but whatever the tasks are for today, you do that. And at night when you go to sleep, you congratulate yourself for that. And you encourage yourself and again, and then you start the cycle anew and you rise tomorrow. Remember, this is a time where emotions are really heightened, and you can feel it. I see that you're feeling it because I know you on different days. So I know that you're, usually there's a big smile and, so that's going to come round for you again. It is there.
Yeah. I can't wait for this thing to be over, the whole, because you don't see your people and it's just, it's difficult. It's just, And I've been thinking about you, that whole stupid Texas thing, and thinking about what you're thinking. And I just am like, I'm so angry at the world. People behaving like that. It's just horrible. Anyway.
Yeah. There's always going to be stuff. There's always going to be stuff. Scott was sharing, and there was somebody here sharing about the tide coming in and knocking boats. And, think about those people, there are hurricanes and all the time there's something. Yeah. There was just this huge volcano erupting, and there were, you know what I mean? But we can always list those things, but that's not for us. And everybody is going to deal with their own struggle at their own time. And we already know that life is going to be this huge roller coaster. Sometimes we'll be on top, sometimes we'll be low. And it's actually those lower times when we remind ourselves that the light is coming. It's coming for us. There was actually just, a special day on Sunday where it's like celebrating spring, which is crazy because we're in the middle of winter. How do you celebrate spring? It's the reminder that the buds are coming, the flowers and the fruit are coming, even in the midst of winter when it's super cold and nothing is aligning and it's all kind of wonky. Spring is around the corner and we're all going to be there. And that's something to celebrate. You already know how to get with it, so I'm not going to give you too much on that, but we love you a lot here, and come onto the calls all the time.
Love you guys.
Connect with your people, and that if you have questions about your business, then there is the call after this that you can ask all the questions of anything that isn't clear. And I'll say it. I always say it at the end of our conversation. I always introduce how to get on there. I know you've been there many times, Maggie. So we're here to support you. So you're not alone. I think, you know what, that's one of the biggest illusions that this life sells to us, that we are alone on this island of life and just doing our thing, and it's just us against the world. But it's not the truth.
Yeah.
We are tethered together, and it's, it's the unseen. It's that web of connection. We create this net of webs of connections that are there to hold you when times are rough. And so here we are for you again. And
thank you. Thanks, everybody.
After that, celebrating birthdays and celebrating, happy times, and also more challenging times. We had some I don't even know how to say, but some really deep shares and stories on these calls that you just, it's just to send love out there to each other, really.
I know it's my mom's birthday today, and I'm feeling like, okay, will I get her sick? Am I better enough? Am I not? You know what I mean? Like, gosh, I'm supposed to go see her. Like, it's just horrible, but anyway, I'm debating.
It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to be vulnerable with your mom, I think. I don't know your relationship, but
no, I don't want to get her sick if I'm sick. But
right, the sick, right. Yes,
I don't think I have COVID. I just think I have stomach bug. So anyway.
Right.
Anyway, thank you guys. Thank you so much.
We're sending you this. All right, let's see. Sam. Hey, I've missed you, Sam. I haven't heard from you a couple times here. Where are you?
I'm here. Hello. Hi.
Hey, how are you?
Sorry I've not been around. My daughters are back in dancing every evening. So when you're on, I'm literally coming in at the end. You probably see me just a minute coming at the end. And I actually did miss what Maggie was saying, but I can see that Maggie's feeling quite emotional and a little bit down as well. And Maggie, do you know what? You can only do your best. Whatever you did today was the best that you could actually do. So don't hate yourself on that. That's the first thing you need to remember. And, I've been planning every day the things that I need to do and to motivate myself. And if I get one off that list, that's good. If I get two, better. If I get three, give myself a tap on the back. 4.
Yeah.
So maybe do that, Maggie. Write 5 things that you would like to achieve. You don't have to achieve them. But if you write those down, and if you get one off, okay, well, I've done that. I feel better in myself. Go for the second. But the final thing I just wanted to say to you is, a lot of people I've had struggles since the age of 10. I'm nearly 50 now. Massive struggles, mental health struggles. I've lost babies, blah, 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 you name it. And I look at it all. If I keep living in the past, it's really going to affect my present day. And I know we all live in the past. If only yesterday I could have done this. Forget that now. It's gone. 10 seconds ago it's gone. We can't change that. So whatever is bothering you at this moment, Maggie, that's your negative. But in every negative, there is a positive. You just need to write what's bothering you down and say, okay, why have I got that? And where's my positive from that? And
I know. I need to remember to write my list. That's always.
Last week I did this motivational class on my, a bit similar to this, on my own private group. And I was okay, I'm going to do it this week as well. We're going to do it every week, every morning, motivate ourselves. But it wasn't until after I'd done the school runs at around 10:30 in the morning. This week, forget it. My car had to go and have an MOT and service, so that took me off. And then I've had to go and collect the car. And my husband's at home till 1 o'clock and he ain't at work and he just winds me up. So it's like, just go away. So I've plodded along, still ticking off my list, but in my own time. Instead, you need to remember as well, some people work great with routine and structure. Other people work great with stress. And other people just like to plod along. I'm a plod alonger, I think.
Yeah.
I just plod, and that's what you've got to do as well, And you're saying that you're poorly, it's because you're worrying as well. So because you're worrying and stressing yourself out, you're going to run yourself down. So go out in the garden, shake it all out, do a little jig and have a good scream and you'll feel better tomorrow. That's what I say. I'm good at giving the advice, absolutely crap at taking it back.
That's how it goes. Thank you.
I love it, Sam. I love it. Always so fun to listen to you and how you give out your advice. And that's another one. We were actually talking about self-care, full moon in Cancer. So we're talking about self-care and what you listed, this journaling, writing for yourself, being in that constant self observance of how you're going about your day and what you're doing. That's self-care, I'll tell you. You know, when you get
also things like, I know it might sound, I don't know how many of you believe it, like in the spiritual world, but things like the universe and working with the universe. If you go out every day before you go to bed, open your front door, back door, window, and say, you know, thank you, universe, for everything that I've had today, whether it was good or bad, you'll see tomorrow better. And it's about not only having that belief in you, it's about having that belief in what's going on that you've got no control over. And obviously it's the universe that actually also helps you. And if anyone, I do have a universal letter on my other group that I do. If any of you want a copy, I'll send you a copy over, you know, about how to work with the universe and how to get it to work with you and in your advantage. It's fair.
Yeah, we do that as part of our daily mode of operation. We do that morning.
All right, yeah.
It's in the welcome video. Rise with an attitude of gratitude. You know, be thankful for all the things.
Yeah,
I say
you have to.
in the morning. It's so important.
Yeah.
It's the first thing we do. Fantastic, Patricia, and we will call it a day. Fabulous to see you.
Good morning. Good morning. Sam, you brought up two good things, but I want to do this, and I know everybody's going to think this is crazy, but play along with me, please. Okay. Everybody hold your arms out straight in front of you. Come on. Take your right hand and put it over on your left shoulder. Take your left hand, put it over on your right shoulder, and go. Give yourself a big hug. Okay.
We all did it.
When I first moved out of the house to go to college, I was so depressed. I was daddy's little girl and was always taken care of, you know, and I had to go out in the big world and be on my own. And so he called me one day and told me to do that. And it got me tickled, and I started crying at the same time, but it got me tickled. And he said, next time, just do that for yourself and know that I'm hugging you. So Maggie, know that we're hugging you.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, give yourself a hug, Patricia, because you deserve it. We all deserve hugs. Huh?
Patricia, what you just did as well is like Reiki. You get it over in the States, don't you? And that's what you were doing. You were healing yourself with Reiki.
Right.
But obviously, all of us doing it together, we're sending you the distant thoughts as well. So
yeah, well, we can all send everybody thoughts, and when you need it, you can hug yourself if you're by yourself. You know, I'm by myself a lot. My husband is an over-the-road truck driver. He's driving up into Canada half the time, and I live in Texas, so that's like way far away. And you know, so I have to come up with ways of doing things, of making myself cheerful. One of the things that I do, and Sam, again, you brought this up, the universe. Okay. Today, we have a massive, massive object flying over the earth, and it's called 7482 1994 PC1. It's it's about 1 million miles from the earth, which is considered to be close object to earth, which is like type thing. But it's flying over us, and we can actually see it. We can see like a streak in the sky. But if you want to watch it like live, YouTube has got about 5 different groups. Italy has got something going. NASA's got something going. I do that. I look around and I watch things going on in the universe, and that makes me happy when I look out and I see, you know, look at all this stuff. One thing, bad things are happening, and the earth hasn't fallen apart yet. So maybe I'm kind of worked to myself. I'm not falling apart yet, maybe, I hope. Anyway, but anyway, the first thing when Karen said we have to come up with ways to make ourselves feel better, the first thing I wrote on my little piece of paper right here, number 1, it says morning call. Come here to this morning call and get with everybody. And if you have friends, if you can't because you work or you got to go to a doctor or whatever, and I've been having to do that a lot lately, I'm still with y'all. And I'll come in and I'll watch it on YouTube, you know, but go to the morning calls. And if you get sad, I do that a lot. I go to YouTube and I watch these morning calls because they make me happy. You know, they make me feel better, especially Karen, honey. You every day you come up, and I'm not trying to blow smoke, but you come up every day with ways to make us more motivated with ourselves, motivated with our job. And if nothing else, make us feel better about ourselves. And if we feel better about ourselves, we're willing to work harder. I know I am. And I'm still slow at everything I'm doing, but I'm doing, you know, that's the
There's
thing.
there's no race, Patricia.
Uh,
You can be slow. There's no race. Remember the story is that with the hare and the snail. The snail ended
the
up
snail kind of beats me sometimes, though. But the thing is that I'm trying more and I'm doing more and I'm feeling better about myself. And bless his heart, Eddie and I talk a lot, and we have like 3 and 4 hour calls on helping and motivating each other, you know, and it's just the Patty hug. I love that, Scott. Thank you. Anyway, try the hug thing. And my dad used to call on the phone and he would go, and that would be a hug over the phone. So we may have to start doing that every morning, hugging each other, you know. But we're all with you, Maggie, and we love you. And whoever else is in this room who might be feeling the same way, we love you too. And we feel your pain and we want to make you happy. So please hug yourselves every morning. Come here and see Karen because she's got the loveliest smile. And that's it.
I love it. What a perfect note. A perfect note to sign off on. Patricia, you are awesome. I love you dearly. Thank you for all your kind words. It is. We've created this beautiful group effort, and we're here for each and every one of you. If you speak up or you don't speak up, it's your first call. You come here often. I saw some names here sneak in. Josie is here, and Karen Thompson is here, and Liana's here. So there are names that come on as we go along, and we love you all. We're really excited that you're here, and this community is so supportive that after this call, I'm going to close this call right now. I'm going to click end. Your screen is going to go black. And if you come back on the exact same link that you used to join, the community will be here and help you with your how-to questions, how to upload the mugs, how to find things, what taglines, whatever you need, Etsy, Amazon, whichever store you're in, what you're doing, they are here to help you out. I'm happy to hear about these beautiful connections that you're creating. And that's what life is about. Life is becoming more and more virtual, even if we want it or not. And if we can really use this to fuel ourselves and fuel our soul and look at it in a positive eye, I know there's so many negative ways to look at it, but if we can see the positive in that, I mean, look at how these amazing connections that we've made and how we love on each other, really, truly. And how would we have met if not for Rachel in this program and not for the virtual? So, it's really a lot to be grateful. And I'm grateful for each and every one of you. I'll see you here on Thursday